Okay, hello everyone. Tonight is the night. This is it. The last time we talked about Pure Land, and then we start the Chanchi after this. So time really flies. I hope that you have been working hard. First of all, there's some beats here we like to share with you. I know I talked about the other night about reciting Buddha's name by tactile. Most people have to think. Okay, we just program ourselves, you see, without thinking. Okay, this is a new technique. It's quite advanced actually. So I'd like you to keep on doing this until you get a hang of it, so it becomes natural. Because this is so fast. Okay, that you can do this while talking, okay, because you do it by feel. All right? Does it make sense? Well, it's not supposed to, but I believe you. All right. Yeah, I have the tea here. Would you like some beads, young man? Okay, so we have two styles, light color and dark color. You can pass them around. You can help out too, boy. Here, that's right. Lift it up. Wow. Here. See if you can do it. Okay, pass it around. And there's another bag. One in each hand. Okay, pass it around. No. You're not done yet. Pass it around. Now the sister wants to help. Yeah, help him. Okay. Have one. Please take one or whatever you like to take. This is compliments from China. Okay, so we pass the black one first, and then you get the lighter color around, so you can have two. Feel free, okay? All right, tonight is the last evening where we do a Dharma talk, so please feel free to ask questions or make comments or share your experience. It would be very helpful. Lots of people are anxious to hear from you and see what you learned, what you accomplished. All right? I'll leave it open to you if you wish. If not, we go into the lecture, into the Master Hsuan Hua's teachings. Yes, 7.
Hello, Master. I'm so glad that I came here. I've been watching, I guess for about a year and a half on YouTube. I took precepts during COVID. And it was a big leap to come here. And I guess the first day, that Sunday morning, I was ready to leave. It was pretty scary for me. But then I pushed through and I stayed, and now I don't want to leave. Everyone is incredible. It couldn't be nicer, so helpful, took such good care of me, and I'm just thrilled. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Thank you for sharing with us. And I'm very pleased to hear that this is what it's about. Most temples, you go to these places, they look down upon you, and you have to blend in, okay? And you have to fit in, and they judge you, feel like you're being judged. Here, I think we are practicing hospitality, or Buddhist terms, kindness and compassion. This is what's more important to me personally than the other stuff, because I've seen what the other strict, rigorous training would do to you. They turn you into Hinayana monsters. I don't like it. Okay, once you turn to Hinayana headed people, Hinayana-minded people, it's very difficult to undo that. I find it so difficult. These people are so it's just an uphill battle. Whereas when you practice these Dharma doors based on kindness and compassion, I feel that you make progress just as quickly, if not more quickly, and while developing kindness and compassion. Okay, and you're just confirm it for me, because I notice you have some good states as you reported, as well as your own confirmation that people have been most kind and nice to you. I'm very pleased to hear that. So thank you to you all as well. Okay, it makes a huge difference to me. Okay. This is what the great Dharma assembly is supposed to do. Typically, you go to these places, I feel it's misguided to, maybe for beginners, but not for us, to be so strict and to be so extreme or severe. It's not the time for it, okay? And not the time right now to propagate Mahayana, especially Mahayana Pure Land. We need to show people our heart of compassion and of kindness. And that's much more important, because people who come here and they go away and try the other places, they see a huge world of difference. Okay. All right. So my interest again is to instill or help you build the foundation of kindness and compassion in all these practices. Okay. And while not compromising your progress. All right. And it has worked so far. So far, so good. Kong has a...
Hello.
Go.
Do you hear us?
Yes.
Hello, Shannon. Too. Hi. I'm very glad that Shannon make it to the Wei Mountain Temple. Personally, I really wish that she would be able to go to Wei Mountain Temple for many years. She shared with me that she had a lot of problems before she went to the temple. So I just wanted to say something to her because she shared with me a lot of difficulties to get there. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? Okay, very good. Yes. Anything else? Anyone has been enlightened yet? No? Oh. Okay, Q&A. It's possible, reciting the Buddha's name, you can go very far too. Do not underestimate this Dharma door. This Dharma door is very, very powerful. Okay, it's pretty advanced. Actually, it's quite more advanced than many Chan Dharma doors. Okay. Anyway, go ahead, go first.
Thank you, Master. I would like to share my experience from the second day that we are chanting, the morning chanting. I don't know how, but during the chanting, I started to feel very like goosebumps everywhere and feel so emotional. And then but I feel very happy, but somehow tears keep on coming down. And then when we do Amitabha chanting, walking around, I have that same sensation again on the second day. But at that same time, on that second day, I developed a rash on the lower quadrant of my abdomen. And it get worse until Thursday, which is yesterday. It's the worst stage. It's grow to the size of about like the palm of my hand. And then this morning, it's like disappear. And then another thing, I don't know if I should share or not, but somehow today I have like number 2 5 times. I don't know. I feel so bad, but I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But by now, everything is completely gone back to normal and healthy. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad that someone has been able to take care of her rash. Okay, excellent. Anyone else? Yes, Daniel.
I just have a question. How, in Buddhist terms, how can a non-Buddhist get enlightened?
How can a non-Buddhist get enlightened? It's very tough for them to get enlightened, okay? But it's possible. All right? And how does that work? It works in mysterious ways. Always speak your language. Even the Buddhists don't even know. Why should I tell you? Are you serious? Yes, number 2.
Thank you, Master. Yesterday in the lecture, you mentioned about having difficulties and problems in our lives are good for us. So my question is, I do have a fear of these hardships. And my second question is, where this fear is coming from? Is the fear comes from my karma obstructions?
Okay. It's normal for us to be afraid of difficulties, okay? Because life is hard enough already. We don't need more of it. So naturally, all of us try to avoid difficulties and suffering, okay? This is why it's very difficult to teach Buddhism, because in Buddhism, we are trained to face difficulties and sufferings head on, and not run away from it. Whereas worldly people, a natural reaction would be to turn the head away and look the other way and run away as soon as possible. And so that's a challenge of the actual training of Mahayana. If you teach Mahayana from books and give people degrees, it's fairly easy. It's no different from teaching philosophy or any other types of intellectual stuff. Mahayana is actually it's a way of life. It's not theory. It's a way of life. Because you live that way, you understand what the Buddhist teachings really, really mean. Okay, and so very rarely you will find teachers like Master Hsuan who insists on teaching you how to confront or face and not be afraid of these challenges and these difficulties. Okay. However, it's being done under supervision. It's normal for us to avoid difficulties and go around obstacles. Okay, that's a good thing. However, the difference is that when you practice, when you meditate, when you recite the Buddha's name, okay, And for example, the lady there just talked about, she recited the Buddha's name. After a few days, she started having rashes, okay? And the worldly people would say, oh, I didn't have any rashes before I come. Now I have rashes, therefore I've simply stopped. And that's exactly what happened to me as well. I had problems at my Buddhist practices, and so I asked my seniors, my elders, I have this problem when I meditate. What do I do? And they couldn't tell me what to do. So the natural tendency, I have many, many problems. And this is one of the problems I also had early on as well. And no one would tell me what to do. The closest one that was a herbal doctor who told me, you have a pretty severe liver problem. It's could be lethal. Yeah, it's very, very severe from his training. So later I fixed it. And so he said, how did you fix it? Who fixed it for you? Okay, because I'm pretty sure I don't think he's trained to handle that problem either. So I said, I did ask around for my elders, my seniors, and what to do with this problem, among other problems, and they all basically couldn't give me answers. Okay, but I lucked out. I was taught some other special dharmas which I use and it turns out to be able to fix this problem. Okay, so you see, in Buddhism, when you have these problems, and like the lady says, in San Jose who has a rash, and if you ask someone, if she asked someone, typically she would have been told, you should take it easy. Should rest. But no, she continued, and the rash went away. Similarly, I did the same thing. I had this problem, not as bad as right now, but it's pretty bad as well. So it's probably lethal right now. But if we have ways to deal with it, okay. So that's what differentiates Master Hsuan-Hua's practice versus all the other practices I know. Because in our world, when we do recite Buddha's name, when we do chant, we recite mantras, we have problems. Actually, it's a good thing. We shouldn't stop. We continue to confront the problem and find a way to fix it. It turns out there are many people who are much higher level than you, so they have been able to confront these problems, resolve them successfully, whether it's a small rash that this lady experienced, in her lower abdomen, okay? That's a normal thing. It's a good thing that happened. And she continued, the problem got fixed, okay? It'll come back, okay? Another time, in another form, okay? But those are the things, those are the reminders that our bodies are pretty sick, okay? Whether you're aware of it or not, but when we practice, these problems surface. That's the beautiful thing about these specialized Buddhist practices we're sharing with you, okay? And actually, they're more acute, they're more severe when you go to a great assembly setting like this, instead of being at home. Being at home, I assure you, you most likely will be distracted so that these problems don't even surface. Okay, and if they surface, you back out and say, "Oh, I better take it easy because I don't like this." Whereas over here, we would be able to advise you on what to do with it. Okay, now in your case, you said, "I'm going to appreciate your candor in saying that you don't like have this fear of these problems." Okay, again, I stress to you that's normal for us to fear difficulties and hardships. That's a human nature, and that's the nature of what we are. That's our makeup. Okay. However, in your case, in particular, this fear here is actually more pronounced than most people. Most people, they just have this aversion. They just want to avoid it. So they prefer to avoid difficulties, to avoid suffering. That's more of the norm, okay? But when you use the word fear, that's not normal. That's because that fear there, I would tell you right now, it's not yours. You get it? Like many of you, it's not uncommon for many of you would come to the temple and you get along with others, but you would not want to go near me. You're afraid of me. And I've been asking myself, why are people afraid of me? I'm a clown. I mean, who's afraid of clowns? And yet people are afraid of me. You know why? Because it's not you who's afraid of me. It's quite often. It happens to a lot. You know, some people here, they go to Chan class, get along fine of their instructors, but they don't want to go anywhere near me or sit in the same room near me. Okay? It's weird. Or there's some people who come near me and they get really, really afflicted. Okay? As if they're threatened or something. And let me tell you, that's not normal, and that's not you. Because typically, some of these people have ghosts, and those ghosts are afraid of me. It's not you who are afraid of me. Okay, this fear here of yours, I can tell you flat out, it's not you. Okay, yeah, and you've been living like that, but you can ignore it. Eventually, as you practice, now you're able to talk about it. That means that you're not as bothered by it as you used to be. Yes? And you keep it up, it won't bother you as much anymore. And yet it helps to know that sometimes these are the fears, are the thoughts, they're planted by others. Okay? And so in this case here, ignore it. It's not a big deal. Okay? Welcome it when you practice. You go to these places of practices for spiritual practices. These problems are good. The challenges are good. The sufferings is very good for your soul and your heart. Have no fear. Okay? Anyone else? One.
Thank you, Master. I wanted to share an experience I had during this Fochi. I was practicing at home and reciting Namo Mataba, and I was just doing it alone. And then my significant other came by, and I come to temple a lot, and they're not always completely understanding of what I'm trying to accomplish or what I'm doing. But when I was reciting it, I got into a space in which it was a day we spoke of the lotus, and I was like complete darkness in my mind, and just started to grow a lotus within there. And then they came near and started to experience a sense of calmness, a sense of peace, a sense of bliss that lasted over like 15 minutes, just being near me. And afterwards, they were like, "What was that experience that I had?" And I got to explain what I was doing. And in fact, during that experience, I couldn't stop saying the name. Just couldn't stop reciting. And I tried for a moment, and I just couldn't. And after it was done, I was able to say, like, that's why I'm going to temple. And this is just one part of the path that I'm trying to achieve. And it was a reinforcing moment for both myself and her. So very grateful for that. Okay.
Very good. It's a good experience, and I'm glad you had such a good experience for so fast. Okay, that's becoming the norm now. Usually, before at Wei Mountain Temple, and when we first started several years ago, 10 years ago, it would take a while. You would need to be, participate full days for a few days, then you will naturally enter that state. Now you don't need even to come to the entire day. Why? Why not? Because your peers are so much better than before. Before we used at Wei Mountain Temple in a 4Chi like this, it would have maybe on a typical day, maybe maximum 6, 7 people, and half of them are my trainees already, my left home people. Okay, and so, but these people carried on and valiantly. Now we have people coming from so far away for the entire duration, and we have a lot more people here, and much higher level as well, if you will. And that's why you, both of you, just testified, proved that you get so much more from coming here than you realize. Okay, it really, really works. So it's well worth it to me that you take the time and come here and join us, because I would not be surprised if many of these people that practice cited Buddha's name or meditating and for years, they make no progress or very little progress for very important reasons. We understand those reasons. That's why we create this kind of Dharma here to help you overcome those types of obstructions. Yes, 9.
From Arsenal 35-101.
Arsenal? Arsener or Arsenal?
Arsenal.
Arsener.
Arsenal.
Oh, I thought Arsener is more interesting.
Isaac Bowing. Do physical problems resolve through awareness?
What kind of problems? What kind of physical problems? Okay.
Next question from Christopher L. Master, I did 4Chi on Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That night, I dreamt I was on top of a mountain with white clouds. There was a big torrent of water flooding the mountain and washed over me. Was this a purification sign?
You are in Northern California, right? So the health of the drought. I was just trying to pretend to be environmentally conscious. Is that a purification thing? Good Lord, how would I know? I mean, people like to ask me about interpreting dreams, and I need to admit to you, I don't know how to interpret dreams. And so you're asking the wrong person. Okay, should go see a soothsayer or something. Sometimes I get it, most of the times I don't. In this case here, seems like it's a good thing. Those types of dreams in general are good, and they're good responses. But more than that, I have no clues. Okay. All right, sorry to disappoint you. Anyone else? Yes, 4.
저도 지난 여름에 보산사에서 수행하고 있을 때 얼굴 전체하고 목하고가 그렇게 뒤집어져가지고 피부과를 가려고 하다가 마스타지 스님한테 스님 제 얼굴이 왜 이래요? 이랬더니 좋아지려고 그런다 이러셔서 참으니까 한 일주일 있으니까 싹 없어지고 또 한 보름 지나니까 또 그런 발진이 생겼는데 그것도 또 한 일주일 있으니까 싹 없어집니다.
I also experienced a similar thing. Last summer, I practiced in the Wei Mountain Temple, and then the rash appeared in my face and neck. So I thought about going to hospital, but I asked Master Ji, and then he told me that it would become better. So 1 week later, they all disappeared, and 15 days later, the rash come again. But it also disappeared again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's normal. Basically, let me explain to you why rashes. Rashes is basically toxins coming to the surface. Toxins inside your organs. Instead of staying there and causing problems, being pushed to the skin surface. Okay, so it's a good thing, meaning that it becomes a skin issue instead of a liver issue or some other internal organs problems. So when you see this type of rash when you practice, okay, it's a good thing. Do not be afraid. Okay? It's a little bit specialized knowledge that the medical people would not know, would not be able to understand. Okay? So the rashes, the itching, and all those things are actually very good for you. Don't be afraid. But just in case, if you're not sure, ask us, we confirm it for you. All right? And you see my face here, my neck, you see it's going to get worse if you do what I do. This is a good thing, it's coming out instead of staying inside and causing problems. Okay? All right. Anyone else? Yes, 7.
Master, I have been afflicted since I'm 13 years old with cursing, and I've tried everything to stop cursing, like vows, and I don't know if it's an East Coast thing, city, I don't know. Any fixes?
It's unladylike.
It's terrible. Can't stop it.
It really, I'm really shocked. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. It never happened to me before. Cursing? I'm of a different persuasion. I feel cursing is pretty good. Because how else, listen, let me give you an analogy. And please don't judge me yet. I know you judge me regardless, but please hold it for a little bit longer, okay? A locomotive can work 24 hours a day. The American locomotives are so well engineered. They're designed to work for 24 hours a day for long, long durations. How do they get to function that way? Because they have a valve where they go actually release steam. Okay, when it's too much, when the temperature is too high, they release the steam so that it lowers the temperature of the engine. Okay. I know society frowns on cursing and all those things. I feel that from a physiological perspective, actually it's helpful to you to release the pressure, okay? Because cursing is one form of relief, okay? Because it's a natural release, okay? And plus, people curse in movies, on TV all the time, so it's becoming like commonplace. And when you're young, so in my era, cursing is even more unacceptable. It's unladylike. Okay, didn't we hear recently that someone heard Sinan cursing to her mother, and she was so shocked, saying, "How can you be a left-arm person and curse your own mother?" So anyway, so to me, cursing is not advisable. However, on the plus side, it's actually a release of frustrations. Okay. But the smart thing to do is to choose when to curse and when not to curse. I go home, I close all my windows. Then I go back through all the bad things that happened to me during the day. I say, And then I go through them all and I release them all. Or sometimes people call me on the phone. Okay, and this is why I always make sure when I speak to people on the phone, I close all my windows and doors. And then sometimes I really snap. On such people. So seriously, it's a form of release of your pressure, of the tension. Okay. However, okay, if you look a little bit deeper, why do you curse? You're cursing because you are dissatisfied. You're not getting what you want from these people. Okay, and that's why you are upset. Okay, and the cursing is a form, an expression, of your affliction. Okay, so as to me, first of all, again, I stress to you, it's a natural thing. Just be. You should know by now that there's a places where you can curse and places you shouldn't curse. That's my point. Okay. Number two is that when you're cursing like that, you should look at why you're blowing your top like that, and that's an attachment right there. Okay. Your expectations are not being met. You're frustrated. Okay, because you have this attachment. You have your. So you should know, maybe you should look at those expectations, and so each time you curse, actually there's an attachment behind it, and all you have to do is look at the attachment and decide whether it's worth it. Because if you keep on approving of that attachment, eventually someday someone will overhear you cursing, and you will not like it. You will embarrass yourself. Okay, you're only hurting yourself. So ultimately, the cursing is from the attachment. So just drop the attachment. It's that simple. That's what I do. So every now and then I forget to close my windows. And it's so embarrassing. So then my own disciples say, "Hey, Master, we can hear you from the temple." In the small house is where I stay, okay, and hide myself. But one day one of my disciples called me and said, "Master, we can hear you." I said, "Oh," and I dropped the attachment very quickly. Okay, so in a way, to me, it's a natural thing. Okay, so it's just we curse. It's human nature. Let's not pretend we're perfect. Okay, we're not perfect. We are work in progress. Okay, and if we caught, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I blew my top. It's not worthy of me. I'm not normally like that. Okay, but to me, that's an incentive for you to drop the attachments. That's all. It's that simple. So it works both ways. It's okay to release the pressure. Number two, be aware that it's someday you're gonna pay for hanging on to the attachment. So drop the attachment. You see, the attachment is ridiculous. It's nonsense. It's unreasonable attachments, unreasonable expectations of others. That's why you curse. Seriously, the curse is very, very coarse because those attachments are unreasonable. Expectations are primarily unreasonable. All right? Anyone else? Yes. The Vietnamese, of course, don't ever curse.
A Di Đà Phật, theo con biết là năm 1975 sau khi con thấy Đức Phật A Di Đà rồi đó, thì khoảng 6 tháng sau có người đưa cho con kinh Lăng Nghiêm và chú Lăng Nghiêm. Thì sau khi đọc tụng rồi con hiểu, con nghĩ là Đức Phật dạy mình đó Cho nên con rất là thích chú Lăng Nghiêm. Cho nên chú Lăng Nghiêm đó, nó dùng rất là mạnh là mình dùng lý trí để mình suy nghĩ, mình bỏ thói hư tật xấu mình rất là khó. Mình đã chất chứa nhiều đời nhiều kiếp rồi. Người thì có cái xấu này, người cái xấu khác. Con nhẫn dịch đi.
Master, in 1975, after I saw Amitabha Buddha, and then 6 months later, I encountered the Surangama Sutra and Surangama Mantra, and I know that this is the Buddha's teaching is very powerful, so I love it. And you know, like the normal people, it's very difficult to reasoning in order to let go of all of the bad habit. Like this habit has been formed for long time.
Chúng ta đã chất chứa nhiều đời, nhiều kiếp, chứ không phải mới đời này đâu. Thành ra không dễ gì quý vị dùng lý trí mà suy nghĩ để bỏ nó được. Mỗi người có một cái thói xấu là rất là hoặc là ít là nhiều. Mà chú Lăng Nghiêm là cái dụng cụ để làm cái chuyện đó. Vừa tạo cái phước cho mình mà vừa đẩy mấy cái đó ra. Cái lực của chú và lực của các vị hộ pháp kim cang trong chú đó người ta giúp. Rồi tôi xin hết. Bây giờ đời tôi bây giờ nó đổi rất là nhiều cũng nhờ như vậy đó. Quý vị phải ra một cái thời để một ngày mình tụng bao nhiêu câu. Thì uống thuốc nó sẽ hết bệnh, chứ bây giờ mấy cái đó mình làm không nổi đâu. Đức Phật mới cho mình cái chú Lăng Nghiêm hoặc chú Đại Bi, quý vị cái chú nào thích đó, dùng cái chú đó, chứ không phải bắt buộc phải chú Lăng Nghiêm. Chú Đại Bi, chú Vận Sanh, chú gì đó, quý vị thích mà làm thấy kết quả thì cứ làm. Tôi xin hết.
So this habit energy has been formed for so many lifetimes. So right now, if you just sit there and reasoning and try to get rid of it, it's so difficult. So that's why you can use the Surangama mantra as a tool to help get rid of those habits, and then help you to generate the blessing, and then the power of the mantra can help you to do it. And then not only the Surangama mantra, but then you can choose to use the Great Compassion mantra or the Rebirth mantra or whatever mantra you like.
Okay, very good. Conk, go ahead.
About the father thing, I have a question. So, some days ago, he called me and asked me how I'm not able to come to his house, to say hello to him or my grandmother. He feels that it's unfair for me not to go pay a visit to the grandma. So I told him I'm a left-on person, so I don't know if that is okay. I need to check with the Sangha to see if that's okay to visit my family like that. I cannot tell you if I could go or not. And then he was getting angry, and he was calling me I'm very selfish. I only do whatever I want, and he was getting very angry. And so I said, I'm so sorry, but I don't know what to do. I will just check with my teacher or Sangha Dharma if I could go. And then I made the conversation shorter. So my question is, in this case, what should I do? Should I go or should I not go? Because once I go to see my grandmother, and then the other aunts will be upset that I'm not going to go there and see them. I have a lot of family members in Korea.
Okay, it's a fair question. You have to learn to talk to your dad at your level so that he doesn't get afflicted. That's a problem, first of all. Okay? There's no reason why at your age and his age that whenever you talk to him, he would get upset at you. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, that problem should be resolved. Okay, meaning that you still don't know how to talk to him properly, knowing he has a temper, knowing he has certain expectations of you. Then knowing those constraints, then you should be able to use the proper words so that he doesn't get afflicted. It's just like, There's certain words, there's certain things that he expects from you, and if you don't give it to him, he'll get afflicted. So that's just common sense. I thought you're a good salesman, but actually you're not good at selling to your father, are you? You think you pride yourself in being able to sell. When you sell things, and salespeople sell everything. That's good salespeople. And they don't just simply sell, things. They should be able to connect with people, and you should work on that aspect. Okay, number 2. In this case here, the dad paid for your car. So it's a special circumstance. So since he paid for the cars, all you have to do is say, hey, I will come and pay you a visit once a month. Okay? But you pay for the gas and the insurance. And so you wait. You see, I'm teaching you how to do it properly. And he say yes, and then you hang on. And another car. Because every time I drive to see you, the temple has no cars left. Okay? So it's, to me, it's all negotiable. He wants you to go home, pay him a visit. Yeah, pay for the gas, pay for the insurance, pay for your health insurance. Pay. Hey, that's what daddies are for. That's what he understands. Don't you get it? Okay. Our world is different. He doesn't care about what we do in our world. He has no interest. All he cares about, I'm your dad. Give me what I want. Okay? That's what you do. You want this, you pay. So that will help reduce his desires, his wants and needs. How is that? All right? Now, what about the aunt? So again, I tell you, you may go because he paid for the car, and I can't afford to buy you a new car yet. So go and pay a visit once. Okay, grandma is a reasonable request. Okay, filial request. He says, go back and see me, and say, oh, Daddy, come on, we're gonna do FaceTime. That's enough. But for grandma, oh, I understand. Okay, I go back and grandma, but we're poor. Yeah. But the other aunt, if she wants to, you say, why don't you go see me? You say, hey, you want to buy for a new car? We can be bought. Yes, 9.
From Derek, Master, can you recommend an alternate no-curse method to release built-up pressure and attachments?
Punch the wall in your apartment. It's nonsense. The cursing is one of the coarsest form of release, and it's when you look closely, it's really nonsense. That's why you're cursing. It's a coarse reaction to very coarse attachment. So it's fairly easy to undo. All right? So that's why I never bothered going more than, finding more effective ways. Just look at the reason why you're cursing. It's nonsense. Seriously. It's just real nonsense. It's meaningless. Okay? Yes?
Master Jewel Mountain has a question.
Jewel Mountain has a question? Okay. Go ahead, Jewel Mountain.
소리가 안 들려요. 거기 마이크 말고 디스코드를 소리를 키셔야 돼요. Turn on. No.
First of all, turn on the microphone.
그리고 디스코드가 지금 뮤트돼 있거든요.
선생님 그거 건드리면 안 되고 그거 말고 컴퓨터에 있는
There you go.
디스코드 프로그램에서 음소거를 해제하셔야 돼요.
There you go. Or you can call Conk and talk to them.
네,
And then relate to us.
나와 이제.
네. 제 질문은 두 가지인데요. 그 하나는
We can hear you. Excellent.
하나는 그 마들이 우리를 괴롭혀서 그들이 가져가는 이익이 무엇이며 또 그들이 그 우리들 말을 듣고 감화받아서 그들에게 좋은 일인데 왜 그렇게 우리들을 죽고 살고 방해하는지 그게 궁금합니다.
Two questions. I'm wondering why demons harass us and what's the gain they get, and then why they obstruct us.
Okay, and they harass us because they like it. You know, the demons and the ghosts are troublemakers, so that's what they do. They like to do. They like to harass us. They like to cause problems for us. In particular, demons are much more insidious. They are much more dangerous. They simply don't harass us. They want to harm us. Okay, but inflict serious harms upon us. And that's why that's what they do. You're born into a demon because that's what you do. I've seen a lot of demons and seen a lot of demonic people as well. So these people have these traits. These traits are when the chips are down, they will not hesitate to harm you. Okay, at all. They will, whoever you are, you could be a relative, could be a wife, they would harm you. That's demonic type of mindset. Okay, so beware of such people. Okay, because that's who they are. That's how they made up. Their makeup is to harm people. Okay, when you pull the trigger, they will harm you. There's nothing you can do. Okay, unless you kill them. But we're not in the business of killing demons, are we? We absolutely do not harm demons, do not kill demons. Why do they do that? They do that, they obstruct us in order to keep us under their control. What demons do is confuse us, okay, so that we help them do harmful things to others. They simply are not satisfied with harming you. They're harming you indirectly by enticing you to harm others, help them harm others. Okay? So that's why they're so dangerous. They're dangerous because they want to obstruct you because that's how they keep you under their control. That's why they are able to manipulate you and pull your strings. So in Buddhism, let me be blunt with you. In Buddhism, it's very plain. The Buddha explained it very plainly. He says that if you don't practice, you are a retinue of the demons. I know you don't want to hear this, but this is how the Buddha describes it. He says, if you don't practice at all, you are a retinue of demons because they simply manipulate you to help them do their work, and you have no ideas. Okay? I know it's not flattering for you. Actually, it's insulting to all of you, but this is the way it is. Okay? So because you are part of the demon's retinues, and that's why when you practice do these spiritual practices, they will do everything possible to prevent you from practicing. Meaning the first thing they do is to stop us from organizing these spiritual practices. We bear the blunt of these attacks because we are providing, we are creating organizing these events, and that's why we need to be stopped ourselves. So they attack us. They do all kinds of things to us in order to stop us and discourage us from continuing. Okay? And not just a personal attack, but also they manipulate us internally, so we have internal discord, internal strife, we have infighting, okay, and so forth, okay, and that's so we bear the brunt of it. But for you personally, they also do things to you in order for you to be discouraged, whether discouraged from coming. Yes, the thought of coming is nice, but from that thought on to buying an airplane ticket, and then from that moment on to waiting to board the airplanes, they do things to you to discourage you from coming as well. Okay, and when you come here, they do things to encourage you to leave. Okay, so that's what they do to all of you. So that's why part of this training here is for you not to quit. Very simple. Whatever the motives are, whatever the reasons that go on in your head, ignore them. Okay? Some of them are your own. Most of them are from the demons. Okay? Because if you practice, you engage in these practices, then you will be able to be taught. You'll be taught how to recognize them, and you are less and less as easily manipulated. And eventually, our objective is to help you develop your wisdom so that the demons can no longer confuse you. The people with wisdom will not be confused by demons. Until you have wisdom, you will not. You'll be helpless. You will not be able to resist them. That's the truth. All right? So that's why. That's why this is the truth in Buddhism. If you don't practice, you are a retinue of the demons, like it or not. Okay? Because you're confused. Anything else? Okay, it's not wishful thinking. We're doing this for very specific objectives, is to help you open your wisdom so that you can have real control over your own lives, okay, and do good things and meaningful things with your lives. If you otherwise, you simply are being manipulated by them, and it's nothing we can do. All right? And there's a difference. Also, it must be spoken as well. When people shave their heads, okay, then they receive full ordination. They're called entering the household of the Buddha. Even though they don't have wisdom yet, they still are members of the household of the Buddha. Okay? Why is it so? It is so because once you're officially a member of the household of the Buddha, meaning you're fully ordained, not novices. Novices don't matter to us at all. unfortunately. Okay? They are not real people yet in our world. Okay? They are like in transition. You're not sure, how it's gonna come out. But once you commit to become a fully ordained member of the household of the Buddha, then actually we are in much better position to impose our will on the demons ourselves. Because these people, these special people, I said, I commit to live a life of wisdom. When I shaved my head, I made all these sacrifices, okay? And I gave away all these worldly things so that I learn how to develop my wisdom, okay? And in that case, we can do a lot more for these people than otherwise, because you don't have that kind of commitment, and you have commitment to your family, to your bosses, and to other people. Whether these left-home people are very special. The fully ordained people are committed to the Buddha's cause of developing wisdom first and helping others develop wisdom later. So these people are very special. So that's why they're called sons and daughters of the Buddha once they enter the household. And we do a lot more for them because they're officially committed to this life of wisdom, whereas you're not. Okay? So in that case, those people are no longer called retinues or demons. They're actually retinues of the Buddha. All right? So for you who are Buddhists, then you are half and half. Okay? Yeah. Which is better than nothing. Anyone else? Good question. Yes, 9.
From Christopher L. Master mentioned that demons have no face. What do they look like and how do we recognize them?
Oh, they have faces too. It's just sometimes you don't see them. They don't need to show you the faces. All they need to show you is the lips, and you go crazy. And they show the faces. That's for another time, for another purpose. Okay? Yeah. So demons come in many varieties. There's endless varieties. Okay? Sometimes they come as Dracula. So they're fun. They're cool. They're such cool creatures. Conch.
I have a question.
Okay.
During ceremony time, sometimes I have burping and farting.
Burping, farting?
Or burping and farting, a kind of attack?
You are not a true member of the household of the Buddha. This is serious. So, did you, when the word is to pass gas, you don't say fart, okay? Fart is so crude. I'm so shocked, I can't believe it. You can talk like this. You don't say fart, okay? You say, I pass gas. Repeat.
I pass gas. So, Master, I have one more question. So, when I have urge to pass gas during ceremony time, then should I hold it?
During ceremony time, did you in the U.S. We sometimes eat a lot of beans, especially when they have tacos. Taco Saturdays. Usually, tomorrow is the day where we have Taco Saturdays to celebrate the end of the Foqi or maybe Chanqi. Don't remember anymore. But typically, after eating those tacos with a lot of beans, refried beans, I usually avoid coming to the temple. Okay? It's a natural, physiological reaction. There's no excuse for you, though. I'm so disappointed in you. I thought you would have potential, but actually you don't have any potential at all. Okay, can we be real? Okay, and now she brings it up. These people, these are the kind of things you're supposed to bring them up in private. Not in public, but now you bring up in public. Now I can't pretend I didn't hear it. Then people will think that Master is afraid to answer questions about farting. I mean, passing gas. What do I care? Okay, listen. Wait until you do the Chanqi. When you go to Chanqi, you'll be farting all day. I mean, passing gas all day. I remember when I first did a Chanqi at Long Beach Monastery, where we trained the young novices. And after day 3 or 4, the Buddha Hall stinks. They took turn passing gas like crazy. And they brag about it. So, they say one will try to be louder than the next one. Why? Because passing gas is a natural phenomenon. When you meditate, okay, one of the first physical responses you're gonna have is passing gas and your stomach making noises. Anyone? Have they experienced this week? Yes? You see? These crazy people. You see, your stomach makes noises. It makes funny noises. That's very natural. And then they have not worked hard enough. That's why they haven't started farting yet. But that's natural. It's nothing you can do. Okay? And so, but being that you're in Korea, how are Koreans, what do you think, how do you regard this passing gas in your culture? Huh? Help us out. Help me understand. When you go to the Son Yun, the Son training center, I'm sure the Sunims have this problem too. Hey, Chung Yin, Wan Tek, did you pass gas? Or not? Huh? Sunims, huh? Did you pass gas or not?
Yes, Master.
Sang-wook, did you pass gas?
Yes, Master.
So how did you explain yourself when you passed gas? What did you do? Hey guys, you see the Koreans are so weird. Okay, hey, 1 second, Chung-in, did you pass gas too? Can't hear you.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master. And 1 second, join the club.
Yes, Master, me too.
See, it's a Korean thing. It's our conclusion tonight. Okay, it's normal. Don't worry about it. Okay? Yeah. Q&A. Yes.
Well, Master, since we're talking about this, I just want to share that back in 2019, when I first came to the temples, this was one of the reasons why I stopped coming, because I started getting a lot of gases, and I was like, I can't do that. So, I mean, there was a lot of things that affected me that for not coming, obstructions, you could say, but that was one of the things that stopped me. I don't know. I just wanted to share.
Yeah, all you have to do is stop eating beans.
I'm Mexican, Master. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you can tell.
He'd rather die than stop eating beans. Oh, these people are something else. Okay. But go ahead, 9. No, go ahead. Different topic. So, in general, okay, passing gas is okay, but make sure that it doesn't, the noise is only a noise thing, not a fragrance thing. Okay? The noise is okay. The fragrance is offensive. Okay? If this is a fragrance thing, then excuse yourself and go somewhere else. Okay? So the noise is okay to me. Okay? Fragrance too, but because there's so many of them, people might get pretty afflicted. Yes, 5.
마들이 수행하는 걸 방해한다고 말씀해 주셨는데, 다 아파서 좀 포기를 하고 싶은 마음이 들어서 진전을 하지 못하고 있다면, 그리고 그런 거에 대한 죄책감을 듣는 걸 패턴을 반복하고 있는데, 이것도 그런 방해의 일종인지 아니면 과거 업장에 의한 것인지 어떤 영향이 더 큰지가 궁금합니다.
I want to give up my practice, and I think that's the why I cannot make a progress. And then I also feel guilty about that. So do you think it's a kind of obstructive demon, or is it just a karmic obstruction? What's the effect what's the cause of this cycle?
Give up practice meaning quit, stop practicing, stop meditating, stop reciting the Buddha's name. What is it exactly?
다리가 아플 때 좀 쉽게 포기하는 그런 것들을 말하고 있습니다.
I unbuckle when the pain, I feel some pain very easily.
Okay, in your particular case, that's part of the training. You should work with someone and make sure that we guide you through to deal with this quitting from the pain. But if you don't quit, you get a lot of great benefits. This is the time where you have to, all of you, have to be aware of this, that it's okay to ask for help. That's why we're here. We're here in order to be available to help you if you request it. If you don't request it, it's none of our business. However, you said, I have this problem here, could you help me resolve it? And then we can help you resolve it. Okay? That's not uncommon for your particular situation, okay? And remember, all these problems are actually opportunities. I know it's cliche, but it's true. If the stronger the urge to quit, then the bigger of a chance you have to make progress. Okay, the stronger the attack, the more violently they attack you, is because you're going to get great benefits from it. And the attack, whatever they do, eventually boils down to, I quit. It doesn't matter what they do, but it ultimately leads to the same thing. I quit. The one thought, I quit. That's all. So learn to deal with it. That's how you make progress. Okay? It's a good thing. You're struggling, so it's a good thing. Don't be afraid. Okay? There are plenty of people who are like you. Okay? Yes, one.
Okay. I'm struggling with my meditative experiences feeling like something special. I want to go ahead and make those feelings and thought patterns and just the way that I am focused and concentration, especially when reciting the Buddha's name, to feel like normal, to feel like I can go every day, every moment of every day being like that. How can I better achieve that?
Just continue. There's nothing to be greedy for. This practice is here. You just follow the instructions, keep on doing it, and these things will naturally happen without having to desire it, without having to understand why. Okay? Understanding is overrated. Understanding, again, let me stress for all of you. Okay? Your understanding is very, very superficial. There's so much more that we want to teach you, but we don't care for your shallow understanding because people like you, especially smart people, educated people, they tend to be attached to those understanding. They think they know. I talked to someone, who is very educated and is professional, and he said, your understanding, I told myself, your understanding is zilch. Of the big picture, you understand nothing. That's why you're so confused. Okay? And so, for you in particular, watch out for this insistence on understanding. That's an impediment to your progress. Just be grateful, be glad that you are part of a group of people who are trained in this process here, and they can go very far, a lot higher than your level, because by sticking to the process instead of trying to understand too much. The understanding comes naturally. There's no need to try so hard to, I want this to happen, I want that to happen, why and why and why. That should be reserved for work time, not for meditation time. Let it happen naturally.
Master,
embrace it.
Before I came to you, I went to many other teachers, and I tried to follow on many other programs, and they weren't as fruitful as this is. And I think I've heard you say many times that there were years of times that you fell into pitfalls. And when I ask questions, what I'm trying to avoid is those deep pitfalls of trusting myself or trusting the wrong ideas within myself, and I just want to follow the best path possible.
Even that should be dropped, is my message to you. You're here already. There's no need to desire for that anymore. All you have to do is follow along. Follow the schedule. Execute the instructions. That's going to happen naturally. To insist on making sure it happens is not necessary. Because the proof is that many people did what I just told you. Execute the instructions. That's it. It's okay, perfectly okay to ask questions and want to understand. That's natural, and we encourage you to do that. But all these questions here point to the same problem you have. You insist and you desire to know. And let me tell you, the only thing you need to know is the instructions. And whatever that you insist on knowing, it's not necessary. It will come naturally. That's all. Okay? Because that insistence on knowing there gets you to think. And it's contrary to what we try to tell you to do. Don't think until it's necessary. You create the need for yourself to think immediately, which is nonsense. This is not work. This is the pursuit of wisdom. You're not getting paid. What you know here is not going to help you make more money. It's not going to help you get promotions at all. Okay? And so let go of that insistence on understanding, on reassuring yourself is the right path. And and it's typical of you. And I've met too many people like you, and to the point where you are actually not extreme cases. I know extreme cases where I said, I'm not going to touch you. Because he's so extreme to the point where he says, I'm going to have it my way because I'm successful, because I'm rich, because I'm well educated, I have a track record of success my entire life. Okay? You cannot tell me otherwise. That's extreme. Okay? Because this is not a worldly pursuit. It's not worldly knowledge. This is the uncovering of the wisdom that's behind your success, that's behind your smarts. And that's why you'll be smarter, you'll be more successful eventually, if you care to go to do that. But until then, don't, just, if it happens, it happens. Don't try so hard to understand and analyze and stop discriminating is the rule of thumb. Okay? Don't discriminate. It's okay. Yes, 9.
저는 두 퀘스천이 있는데 첫 번째는 1번 질문하신 분의 연장선상인데 제가 되게 많이 파악을 하려고 하고 분석을 많이 하는데 제가 그렇게 하는 이유는 제가 그렇게 파악하고 분석을 하지 않으면 제 삶의 주도권이 제가 이렇게 왠지 느낌에 제 삶의 주도권을 제가 갖지 못하고 제 삶의 주도권이 마스터한테 넘어가는 것 같아가지고 제가 계속 파악을 하려고 하는 그런 게 있는 것 같습니다. 상욱쌤 가능하시네요.
We cannot hear.
I also try to analyze and understand it. If I don't, I think I cannot control over my life. I think master controls my life.
그리고 두 번째 질문은 제가 불칠하는 일주일 동안에 6파운드가 빠졌는데 뭐 빠진 거는 문제가 안 되는데 제가 선칠 시작하면서부터 물도 안 먹는 단식을 이틀 정도 해야 돼서 좀 살을 다시 찌운 다음에 이틀 정도 물도 안 먹는 단식을 해야 되는지 아니면 6파운드가 빠진 상태에서 그냥 이렇게 물도 안 먹는 단식을 해야 되는지 그걸 여쭙고 싶습니다.
Last week, I lost 6 pounds. Beginning after Chanchi, I am planning to do fast for 2 days without drinking water. So my question is, can I do fast at this state or wait until I gain 6 pounds and then fast again?
How much you weight? Never mind. I don't know. You can do whatever. You can gain or you don't gain. It's all up to you. No one has interest in controlling your life at all, controlling you at all. Okay, we're not control freaks like you. You are the control freaks who want to control your life and control others people. We're not like that. Okay, we are live and let live. Okay, like the James Bond movie. So fast, I don't know. Just follow the schedule. Don't fast, and I'm not going to have water. I mean, what kind of fasting are you doing? I mean, this woman is impossible. She always distorts things. The fasting is supposed to drink water. 1 cup.
그러니까 그게 정식 단식을 제가 결정한 게 아니라 길게 앉아야 돼가지고 이제 화장실 문제 때문에 물도 안 먹는 단식을 해야 되는 거지 단식을 위한 단식은 아니거든요.
Too long sit. That's why I don't want to drink water. I want to. Do you hear me?
I don't want to hear you. Okay, and do long sits, but then don't fast, or fast and don't do long sits. Don't do them together. I mean, what's the big deal? Or fast while sitting on the toilet. I don't care. Use your imagination. This woman is impossible. I know I'm supposed to give you instructions, but you force me to give too many details instruction like this, I will quit. Do you pass gas too?
한국에 이제 선방을 다닐 때는 방귀를 삼켰고요.
네. Just say 네.
여기서는 그냥 틉니다.
But here I just passed the gas.
Okay, never mind. Okay, we're not going to go into that. She doesn't take showers. Why me? Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else? Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
From Jason K. The Buddha predicted that the demons will disguise as monks and nuns and destroy Buddhism from within. How are they the household of the Buddha? How do we know if monks are not controlled by demons?
You don't. None of your business. It's my problem, not your problem. You don't even know yourself are a retinue of the demon. And you want to know about us? Mind your business. It's our problem. Yes, it's true. They manifest as monks and nuns, and they do nasty things to Buddhism. That comes with the territory. What else is new? We know about that already. Okay? And that's the case. I say, come. Let's have a ball. Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I appreciate the conversation about cussing. I'm from the East Coast, and I'm a white person, for those of you who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe with more white people coming to Temple, it's a white person problem. I don't know.
Racist.
I have to admit, many times when I unbuckle in Temple, it's because I can't F-bomb the S out of what I'm feeling. What does F-bomb the S mean? That's a good question. Because I can't let out the cuss words that I would normally say on a field playing sports, where it's acceptable.
Yes.
And out of a sense of politeness and respect.
So you're less manly at the temple. Gotcha.
It's always a trap, Malcolm.
Did you know that many people, some of them actually cuss at me? Say, my pain is because of you. And they actually feel pretty good.
I believe it.
Cussing at me, yeah. It comes to the territory, you know.
So my question is, what do you suggest I do instead?
What you suggest you do instead? Cuss at your wife. It's safer. Cussing at me is an offense. Yes, too.
Master, thank you. I know someone who loves cuss all the time. He could literally, not the words, he can just make the whole paragraph out of it. And there's rhymes to it. So, really. But I continuously told him not to curse, especially, profanity and all this stuff. But he continued to do so. So do I just...
Wait. I know why. Oh, that's a good reason too. Darn, I didn't think of it. Thank you. Clever. He plays video games.
That's correct. Bingo, Master.
That's it.
Anything he sees violent stuff, like movies video games, it just...
The video games bring it out from all of us.
Yes, that's correct.
I speak from experience. I used to play 3 days straight, 4 days straight.
So, Master, do I continue to listen to this, whatever it is?
Yeah, out of love. Yeah. It's don't take offense. It's just like Master Shenhua, my teacher, says, if they say things like that, then you should pretend like it's like Greek or something. That's the difference. It's kind of weird for him to suggest that. I used to object to that and say, why do you keep on fooling yourself? It's clearly English. I understand exactly what it means. Then you tell me that I'm pretending it's Greek or Japanese or Korean or something. He never used Korean. but I'm adding Korean for your reference. Okay? And I said, why would you want to fool yourself like that? But there's a point which I missed. Because it's not about Greek, it's not about Korean, it's not about Japanese. It's about what? Ignore it. Boom, done. We don't even need to pretend it's Japanese or Greek or whatever. Just what curse? And the whole paragraph disappears. That's all. But if you let it bother you, it will keep on bothering you until the day you divorce him. You see, you're not making a case for yourself, okay, to stick with him. So that's why sometimes it's better just to ignore it. They say, what's a big deal? You know, don't be so judgmental. We all have weaknesses. We have what it's called moments of weaknesses. We all have that. Embrace it. For him, it's more often than the rest of us. But that's what makes, to me, the relationship interesting. You know, each person is different, and don't be so judgmental. It's okay. It's okay. Embrace it. And then the way I do is I negotiate. I would negotiate. I said, you know, for each curse word, you have to. What is it? Are you interested in money or diamonds? Okay, so you negotiate. You know?
Master, if I negotiate with that person, I'll be a millionaire by now.
You got my drift. Anyone else? Yes, number 3.
Master, does using profanity create bad karma, and then can you fix that by like bowing to the Buddha? Does that erase the offense?
Yeah, great compassion, repentance will eradicate those offenses. Particular, the people who curse a lot, they have bad breath. The people who curse and lie, they have bad breath. Okay, this is why in the U.S. we have Binaka blast. In the U.S., before we talk to people, so Shannon knows what I'm talking about. So we have breath fresheners and all those things, and they're making a killing in America. We like to cuss. It's a football thing, it's a video game thing. What do you expect? Right? How can you play video games without cussing? Come on. I never heard of anyone. Anyone ever play video games without cussing? I mean, huh? Not possible. You play without cussing? I don't believe you. What kind of video games? Knitting? We're talking about killing and exploding and chopping people's head off, and you don't cuss? What's the matter with you? You enjoy those games? This woman is strange. I never heard of anyone who plays video games and who doesn't cuss. That's the first. Hey, check her out. I don't believe her. Okay, anyone else? God, how do we get to cussing? From Pure Land to cussing. You know there's no cussing in the Pure Land? I'm warning you. Don't give me a bad name. You see, Amitabha Buddha said, cut. What? It took a long time. Go ahead.
Thank you, Master Amitabha. 일단 저희 요번 불치를 하면서 제가 간략하게 좀 약하게나마 체험했던 거를 같이 공유를 드리면, 제가 이제 소리에 굉장히 센시티브하고 예민한 편입니다. 그래서 이번에 불치를 할 때 이제 바깥에 소음이나 이제 차가 이제 지나가면서 이제 경적이 울리는 거나 그런 것들이 이제 처음에는 좀 신경이 거슬렸는데, 하다 보니까 그냥 굉장히 자연스럽게 그냥 여여하게 그냥 흘려보낼 수 있었고, 소리가 뭐 100%까지는 아니지만 거의 90% 이상 큰 장애 없이 그냥 뭐 귀엽게 들린다 그래야 되나? 그러니까 큰 장애 없이 그냥 레디고 할 수 있어서 굉장히 좋았던 체험이었고, 굉장히 평온했습니다. 그건 간략한 제 이 체험이었고요. 질문을 하나 드리고 싶은 게 있습니다. 제가 이번에 불칠하면서 너무 졸릴 때가 있어서 이제 살을 이제 꼬집으면서 이렇게 연불을 하거나, 그다음에 막 졸릴라 그럴 때 막 이제 막 꼬집고 저를 막 이제 막 이게 때리기도 하고 그랬었는데, 간단하게 이게 혼침이 오거나 이제 명상을 하거나 만트라 하거나 그럴 때 이제 혼침이 올 때, 그러니까 이게 인위적으로 막 살을 꼬집으면서 정신을 번쩍 나게 하는 게 필요한 건지, 아니면 때로는 결과부자 한 상태에서 자연스럽게 조금 약간 좀 이렇게 좀 그냥 편하게 이제 좀 잠이라 그래야 되나? 약간 좀 휴식을 취한 다음에 그다음에 자연스럽게 다시 연불이라든지 만트라를 하는 게 더 좋을지, 그걸 여쭙고 싶습니다. 그러니까 인위적으로 깨워야 될지, 막 꼬집거나 이렇게 해서 혼침이 들 때, 아니면은 그냥 자연스럽게 좀 놔둬서 좀 쉬었다가 다시 해도 좀 무방할지 여쭙고 싶습니다. 고맙습니다.
I want to share my experience during Bochi. I'm very sensitive to sound, and outside the temple there are lots of noise. In the beginning, it bothers me a lot, but as days passed, I no longer bothered by those noise, and I can let them go. And I have a question. When I feel very sleepy, I pinched myself and slapped myself. Is it necessary when I feel sleepy, or is it okay to doze off for a while in full lotus and take a rest, and after taking a rest, do mantra again?
Okay, very good. Naturally, when you practice, eventually, at first the noise will bother you, but eventually you will ignore the noise. That's a natural progression. So don't worry about it, okay? To the point where eventually you can go to a very noisy place, and it maybe take you a little bit longer, but eventually you can ignore the noise even, okay? And that's a skill you develop naturally. As far as sleepiness, when you feel sleepy and you're supposed to recite and practice, then try to fight it, whatever it takes. Squirt bottles, water in your face, stand up and walk, or pinch yourself. The Buddha, in his sutras, he explained that you can pinch your ears. Okay, it's very painful. It's very tender here, the lobe of the ear. Okay, you pinch it, it hurts. Okay, and Xianqie, I think I gave you a list of those, right? I gave you a sutra years ago at Wei Mountain Temple. Did you still have it? This is a sutra where the Buddha says when you feel sleepy, the things you can do, where you can do to fight the sleepiness, okay? Including pinching yourself, pinching your ears and stuff like that. You could find it, yes?
I remember you spoke about it one time, but I don't remember ever seeing the text, but I can probably look it up on the original text.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, if it helps you, do that. To me, it's not so much about all those things. To me, it's about fighting, okay? Find a way to fight it, fight the sleepiness so that you can continue to recite. And eventually, you will fall asleep. But the process is to fight, okay? If it falls asleep, it's okay too. Don't hurt yourself. Don't go hang yourself. We all fail, okay? But the difference is that we fail in the process of trying very hard, then we come back and we try better, do better and better and better and better, and that's all, okay? That's a natural progression. Don't worry about it. But the idea is correct. You fight. You find ways to fight, okay? All right. Anything else? Okay, very good. I think we're running late. I think we have a long, great transference tonight. So let's stop here. Thank you all for coming to the Fochi. I'm very pleased you're here and has been very productive for all of us. Okay, thank you.